God Science here. And this is our last episode dealing with pressure, last segment. And remember what we've been talking about. We talked about pressure always goes from high to low. And we could mess around with that a little bit. We could change that a little. And I want to show you something here. It's called Bernoulli's principle. And Bernoulli, it's just another way we could change pressure. And what I could do is I could take this piece of paper and I could blow on the top of it. And I'm wondering if you sort of think what would happen if I blew on the top. Try to guess what would happen. Is the paper could do nothing. Or maybe because I'm blowing on the top of it, the paper will bend down. Well, the other choice is maybe the paper goes up. So let's see what will happen. I'll turn this way so you can see. I'm going to blow on the top of it. Did you see what happens to the paper? The paper actually lifts up because I'm blowing on the top of it. And so what Bernoulli found is if you can increase the speed of the air molecules, what you will do is you'll decrease the pressure. Remember we talked a little bit about that if we took a pump and we blew up our bike tire and we pumped it. All we're doing is adding more air molecules into that tire. More air molecules, more collisions, more pressure. But Bernoulli is saying if we can increase the speed of those molecules, what that will do is it will decrease the pressure. So here we have pressure on top, we have pressure on the bottom, they cancel each other out, and the paper is just the weight of the paper. But if I blow on the top of it now, you can maybe see that paper lift off the ground. Because what happens? I increase the speed of the molecules on top, it reduces the pressure, it decreases the pressure, there's greater pressure underneath, it lifts the paper up. I want to show you this with a race here. And so what I have in front of here is I have chairs, but in a sense it's a lot like a shape of a wing, of an airplane wing. And so this is curved on the top and it's pretty straight on the bottom. Okay? And we're going to talk about how that airplane is able to get off the ground because it produces lift, and it's all because of the shape of the airplane wing. And so Elodie and I are going to have a race, and you need to really pay attention to the speed of this race. I want you to watch me and watch Elodie at the same time. And what we're going to do is we're going to start at the same time, we're going to end at the same time, at the same place. Take a look at what I have to do and what Elodie has to do in order to do that. Okay? So watch us both, really pay attention to Elodie. On your mark, get set, go. Did you see that? I'm walking at a certain pace. What happened to Elodie? Was she walking slow or fast? What were you doing?
Walking fast.
You were walking fast because we have to end up at the same place. And because this wing is curved, she has more distance to follow. And so she's moving fast. Now if she was an air molecule, she's moving faster. What happens to the pressure? It goes down. So now that there's greater pressure underneath here, greater pressure underneath, lower pressure on top, it pushes the plane up off the ground. It provides lift. And that's how that plane gets off the ground. Just a thought that this is called Bernoulli's principle. Principle is really sort of like some really good thinking behind it. It is not a law. A law is absolute. So think about that when you're on a plane ever, okay? Bernoulli's principle is causing lift. Gravity is a force pushing this plane down. That's a law. Principle, law. Principle, law. That may make you a little nervous. All right. So we'll move these out of the way for right now. And I want to show you that it really some of you know that I was a former swimmer. I swam in high school and college, and then I coached. And for some reason, high schoolers have this fascination with toilet paper. They just do. I don't know why. I don't know when it started, but I remember in high school when we had a big meet, we would toilet paper the coach's house. And like, you know, if I made it to state, my house would get toilet paper. I mean, it was just sort of like the thing to do. And then as I coached, you know, in my high school, as a high school coach, my house got toilet papered at least once a year. And it wasn't a mean thing. It was just sort of like, this is what swimmers do. They have this fascination with toilet paper. So deep down, I really love toilet papering houses. I really do. It's just so much fun. It's just so much fun taking that toilet paper roll, throwing it up in the air, getting it, you know, getting it on in a big tree, watching that toilet paper come down and throwing it back up. But the problem is my age. You know, after a couple of throws now, my shoulder is killing me. And so, you know, I don't throw it as high. And then they, you know, the last time I went toilet paper, guess what they made me do? They made me toilet paper the bushes. There's nothing worse than toilet papering bushes. That's saying, like, you can't throw it up, just stay with the lower stuff. That's embarrassing when you have to toilet paper the bushes. And the other thing, half the fun is that, you know, they're coming outside and like chasing you. Well, guess who they catch now? You know? So toilet papering is one of those things that, you know, I might not be doing, you know, it the normal way. But I did find a way, knowing Bernoulli's principle, I found another way that I could toilet paper a house. And so what I'm going to ask Elodie to do is maybe stand like right over here, and I would like you to be a tree. Okay? And what I have here is a leaf blower. All right? And I have a roll of toilet paper. Let's see how far I can go out with my extension cord. Maybe angle off a little bit over there so they can still see you. Maybe like turn me and go backwards like 5 steps there. Perfect. All right. And so, I mean, I know what a leaf blower does. Okay, yeah. It blows leaves. Oh, no. It increases the speed of air molecules. So those air molecules are shooting out of there so fast. Now I know what Bernoulli says is if air molecules are moving faster, it decreases the pressure. All right? So what I'm going to do, and it's the same argument with the paper. Should I shoot the toilet paper underneath, or should I shoot it on top? Well, again, if I shoot it underneath, those air molecules will go fast. It will lower the pressure. There will be greater pressure on top. It's going to just push that toilet paper down. I don't want to do that. I want to increase the air molecules on top of this toilet paper, and so that's where I'm going to shoot the leaf blower. Increase the speed of the molecules, decreases the pressure, greater pressure underneath there, that should produce lift. Let's see if I can toilet paper Elodie here. We'll see you again for another segment of God's Science. Woohoo!